going on, guys? So just wanted to change it up a little bit on the channel, talk about some of the handguns I have, and mainly this new one I just picked up about 2-3 weeks ago. It's my first time bringing it out and shooting. Got about 600 rounds through it today in about 2.5 hours of being out here. So this is the M&P Metal 2.0. It's a full metal striker fired handgun. So you got an aluminum frame, aluminum slide, and then obviously your barrel and internals are metal. The only thing polymer on here is the trigger itself. But yeah, so I got a Wesson EPS on here with the Surefire X300. I should say this is my first time with a Wesson optic, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I originally was going to get an acro, just like how my Glocks have, because I got 3 of them. That would have been my 4th. I love those optics for handguns, and I got the acro on top of my Knife Force optic as well. But I got this, I picked it up for $850 before taxes, so I think it was around 900 bucks out the door. And I gotta tell you, man, this gun is really nice. It's got a phenomenal trigger out of the box for a striker fired handgun. I've never felt or shot a Walther PDP, but I have shot an HK VP9, and until I shot this Smith & Wesson, the HK had the nicest polymer trigger out of the, or not polymer trigger, you know, polymer striker fired handgun out of the box. It had the best trigger. I think it was the VP9L. That's what my buddy has. Very nice gun. And then obviously reading online and hearing online, the Walthers have some of the best triggers out of the box, but this one is very nice. It's a pleasantly shooting handgun. The take-up's very minimal to the wall, and then it's a very crisp break with a very short reset. So your follow-up shots are really very quick, but manageable. And I think the metal frame has something to do with that. But it's my first handgun that's not a Glock style handgun. I've had Glocks my whole life. It's what I've shot. This is my Glock 45. It's got an Acro P2, Radiant Afterburner, Surefire, Stipple Job, Apex trigger kit, and magwell. And then my carry gun is a 19 with it's this exact setup, Acro P2, just the regular Glock barrel, but I have an Apex trigger kit in it and a magwell. And I run the TLR7 light just for a smaller footprint for when I conceal. But this isn't like a M&P versus Glock video. I'm not gonna do that. I think there's a bunch of videos out there like that. I was just letting you guys know, it's my first time with Smith & Wesson, and it's really nice. I like it a lot. The only thing I don't like is the mags are like 40 to 50 bucks, and it only came with 2. So buying 2 more mags is $100 right out of the gate. But that's really it. It's a very nice handgun. I'm gonna put a few rounds through the M&P and then swap holsters and put a few rounds through the Glock so you can see as much as you can, because you're not here obviously, the recoil difference between the two. I will say that this has a little bit more recoil compared to the Glock with the afterburner, but dude, it's 9mm, so as long as you go to the gym, it's fine. So put a few rounds so you guys can see, but it is a very nice gun. And then when I'm done, I'll show you the trigger, like the take up and the reset and all that. So go ahead and swap holsters. Make sure I'm in frame. All right, here we go. So just feeling it. The Radiant Afterburner definitely does its job. It keeps this Glock really flat. But the trigger, even with an Apex trigger in the Glock, it's not anywhere near as nice as this Smith & Wesson, in my personal opinion. So, but I'll show you the take up real quick for this M&P. So, gun's clear. So this is the take up. Very minimal, very smooth. And then I'm on the wall with a nice break. The reset is not as audible as the Glock trigger, but here it is. That's it. So, very nice. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this little plastic piece right behind the trigger, and it's like an anti-travel or over-travel mechanism that Smith & Wesson did. And it's really nice. Keeps the trigger nice and short for the take up to the wall, and then the reset as well. So, but yeah, my first time having anything other than a Glock, and I'm pretty surprised. Highly suggest next time you go to the gun store to check one out. I think you'll be surprised with how nice the 2.0 metal is compared to the first generations of the Smith & Wesson M&Ps. That was the first time I ever shot an M&P, and I was skeptical on buying it and shooting it because of the hinge trigger that the first gens had, and it was just complete ass. Like, I hated that gun. And that really put a bad taste in a lot of people's opinions with the Smith & Wesson M&Ps, and you know, you'd have to buy the Apex trigger kit. But this is really nice right out of the box, something that you can really put a lot of rounds through and enjoy. And there's a bunch of small features on here that I like about the gun. Like, there's a loaded chamber indicator right above the barrel right there, that little hole. So, but yeah, this is my Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 metal. It's a nice handgun. Definitely think you guys should check it out. So, but yeah, I'll empty this mag and we'll end the video. Thanks for watching, guys.